Did you always want to go into TV? Were you interested in radio? Were you interested in anything else? Or were you always like, I want to be a TV guy?
No, no. Growing up, I don't know, probably if you would have asked me, I probably would have told you I wanted to be a professional athlete, maybe a baseball player,
Right.
a football player. But then those hopes were quickly dashed.
Right.
And I figured, hey, I need to do something where I can make a living. And again, I guess it was just my love of sports, my love for writing. Like I discovered I had that love for writing. Here's an interesting stat for you. How many people do you know that have taken the same subject twice and made an A the both times? I tell people, hey, I've got to be tied for the world record.
Right.
But after 8th grade, I'm looking forward to a nice, relaxing, fun summer like all kids. And my mother, who was a teacher, knew my 8th grade teacher had not properly prepared us for high school. And this was going to be the first year that I was going to go to an integrated school, my freshman year at Magby High. So she said, you're going to summer school. And I'm like, what? Because I made an A. Well, I made another A. And that's during the time when I discovered that I really had a knack for writing and never had a problem with English after that. Not that I had a problem before, but she knew I just wasn't as prepared as I should have been.
Do you prefer writing over the TV side? I mean, like, do you prefer one or the other, or do you just love them both individually? Like it's two separate.
No, well, a lot of people ask me like, hey, do you write your stuff? And I said, yeah, I write the majority of it. I love writing. It's an important part of what I do. So that's part of the whole puzzle. I love the writing.
I was going to say, obviously now, not to cut you off, but obviously now it's like things have shifted so much to video and audio. And there's a lot of, I almost feel like written word is kind of a lost art now. Like people don't really, like there aren't stories, I feel like, put together by journalists like you used to have. You know what I mean? It's a lot more quick hitter. Some people would say hot takes, if you will. There's kind of like that. It's almost a lost art to be an investigative journalist and like write a really, really in-depth story anymore.
Yeah, you're very observant. A lot of that, especially in local TV news, is that we don't have as many people as we once had. The staffs are smaller and we have more shows. When I first came to WIS in 1988, we had 2 evening shows, the 7 o'clock show and the 11 o'clock show. We had 3 full-time people in sports. Now we have, we do news from 4 to 6:30.
Right.
And we have a 7 o'clock show, we do a 10 o'clock show, and we have an 11 o'clock show. And when you look at it from the news side, a lot of their day is spent going out covering a story. Right. Then they have to be set up for live shots. And you don't have a lot of time to put into those stories and produce those stories. And it's that way too in sports, because we've gone from 3 full-time people to 2 full-time people. And when you have to give someone 2 days off during the week, and you have to pick and choose your spots, like, okay, wait a minute. We all have to be working on Fridays during football season and Saturdays. So you're kind of limited. But I enjoy putting together those long form stories and really doing nice features on people, which I don't get to do enough. And also the time that I get for sports. We used to get 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes when I first started. Now I'm down to like 2.5, 3 minutes. Most of my shows, except on like Saturday and Sunday. And so you have to keep, I tell my folks, you got to be concise with your writing, and you got to make sure that everyone understands what you're talking about. It's like people standing on a platform waiting for a train, and the train just whizzes by. Everyone is looking, what happened? Make sure everyone is on the train.